and you can experience a better world on.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you, thank you. Yes, yes. I love it. I love how comfortable you guys are in the room, and it's a packed room, guys. So, Amish is going to be here in the next few moments. And when he comes in, of course, we're going to give him a roaring Bengaluru reception and a welcome. And here's the best part, apart from the book signing and apart from getting to take pictures with him, there will be a few of you who get to ask questions to Amish as well about the book, about him. So just hang with me, just sit tight. We are about to begin the show in the next few moments. Yes.
Thank you, first of all, for choosing me. Okay. So first of all, I started my book with Vayuputra, then I went to Nagas, and then I went to Meluha. That's my journey of the books. Please clap for me. So initially, I was a huge critic of Amish because I was a conservative as far as the mythology was concerned. But then when I grew up, I started reading when I was in ninth, if my memory is correct. But when I grew up, I understood that authors have their own freedom, license, and I really love the way in which he uses creative sense to create a totally different world and in using the same characters in a mesmerizing manner. So I really, really appreciate that and really love that genre.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so very much for sharing your opinions. Yes, would love to hear from you.
Yeah, so actually, the first book that I read was Sita, and the reason I picked that book was the cover page, obviously, because I okay. Yeah, so while choosing the book Sita, I saw the book cover, and the book cover was the reason for choosing it because like it's a totally different depiction of Sita. I had never read or seen this kind of description of Sita. So I just loved it. Then I read Ram, the first book, and like within 3 4 months, I read all of them. Yes.
Lovely. All right. I will come over to you with few more questions as well. Now, it's going to be an opportunity for you to win some merchandise from Sapna Book House. All right. Here we go. The question for you is, let's have a few questions from the Har Har Mahadev series, maybe. Yes. All right. Let's go ahead quickly. If I were to ask you, who was Daksha's daughter? Yes. Okay. Okay. Yes. I love the fact that he said Sri Ram. No, I'm not the daughter, but yes,
It's Sati.
it's Sati. Yes. Can we please have the merchandise? A tote bag. Yes. A tote bag to be handed over to our winner. Yes. Congratulations. Yes. Yes. I know. I know. It's okay. It's okay. Don't take offense. All right, moving on to the next question. Yes, 2 to 3 minutes is what I've heard. So let's do this quickly, guys. I need you to give me the ethnic weapon that Parshuram used. Yes, okay. All right, well, we'll come over to picking up that winner in just a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Amish. Welcome, welcome, Amish. So good to see you. So good to see you. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is. Everyone's been waiting to meet you. Welcome, Amish. Why the delay anymore? Ladies and gentlemen, someone who published his book in 2010 has over 10 books to his name, both fiction and non-fiction, including the recently released War of Lanka, has sold over 6 million copies, adapted into 20 different languages as well. The Week magazine acknowledged Amish as the fastest selling author in Indian publication. TV documentary series, There's Nothing This Man Can't Do. Right now, he's taken over as Minister of Culture at the Indian High Commission in the UK and the director of the Nehru Centre in London in October 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, diplomat and author at the Sapna Book House. Welcome, Amish. Let's hear it for him. Welcome, Amish. Make yourself comfortable. Have a seat. While he's here, I request all of you to definitely take your seats. Make yourself comfortable as well. We do have a beautiful symbolic lighting of the lamp ceremony that we'd like to begin with. And to welcome him from Sapna Book House, we of course have the directors, Mr. Nitin, Deepak, and Paresh Shah. I request all of you to join in for the symbolic lighting of the lamp, invoking the blessings of the Almighty, and beginning this exclusive book launch that's happening at Sapna Book House. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much, Nitin, Deepak, Mehul, Paresh as well. The Shah brothers, all of them directors of Sapna Book House, which of course has a beautiful lineage etched in Bengaluru's history. Something that started in 1967 has been around for so many years, and now here we are celebrating Amish and the recent book of the Ram Chandra series. Amish, let me tell you, a lot of the folks have already picked out the books, and they were here as early as 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, just so that they can meet you. And here we are. All right. We now proceed with the event. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have with us, yes.
If I can say, is this on? Yeah, okay. For those who came at 7 o'clock, I should tell you, I arrived in Bangalore this morning at 2 a.m.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, to carry on the conversation and to drive the conversation and to get the best out of a one-on-one, we have with us the marketing head from Sapna Book House, Natasha Doshi is here. Natasha, round of applause. As we have a very special unveiling that is to happen as well. So I hand over the reins to Natasha.
Welcome to Sapna Book House, everybody. Come on, guys. I think we can get a little louder. Welcome to Sapna. Lanka in 3, 2, 1. Lanka! That's some energy. Come on. I think we have to show Amish what Bangalore is capable of, right? I would like to say welcome to the Amishverse today, because that's what's catching on these days. We have one of India's most loved authors, most celebrated ones, and especially in today's event where we have the biggest, most exclusive book launch for the War of Lanka. I request you to unveil. We have a small surprise for you if you can just pull the curtain. Yes, yes. Presenting the War of Lanka.
Just in case you missed it, this is all War of Lanka.
While the first 3 books of the Ram Chandra series explore individual journeys of Ram, Sita, and Ravan, in this latest book, the epic 4th part, their narratives crash into each other and explore into a slaughterous war. How many of you all have got the book with you today? Wow. And how many of you all managed to read the book so far?
Oh, wow. Good number.
Not yet. How many of you all are going to read the book from now, right after today?
Nice.
Now that's a better show of hands. So Amish, welcome to Sapna.
Thank you. Pleasure being here. Thanks, Bangalore. Thank you for being here.
Guys, while we celebrate this beautiful cover and this beautiful book, we have another reason to celebrate. It's Amish's birthday in the next 2 days.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course, we just had to mention it.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll be turning 48 on 18th October.
While we're still in awe of how someone can curate such a beautiful book, write something so artistic, take Indian mythologies and form it into a contemporary literature, I really congratulate you on how amazing this book has turned out.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's the work of so many people. Yeah, it's the blessings of Lord Shiva that the story came to me. Every family member of mine, because they read it chapter by chapter. Then the editors, the wonderful cover designers. There's this company called Octobus, which has done the designing. HarperCollins, which has produced, published, and distributed it so well. So thanks to everyone. It's a team project.
I'm glad. And I'm glad it turned out to be so beautiful because I think this is the most awaited book. I have.
Yeah, I know it got a little delayed. I'm really sorry for that.
That's okay.
I get a, I've said this before, I get a lot of love from my readers. Thank you so much for that. Sometimes it turns into tough love though. So, I live in London now. I'm a diplomat out there. So I have a job out there as well. There are times when I go cycling. I like cycling, jogging. So there are times when I posted pictures on Instagram that I've gone cycling and, at Hyde Park, and there's a picture. I get scolded in the comments, yeah? Why are you wasting time? Go home and write.
They say, Amish, good things come to those who wait. And especially with such a blockbuster book, it was
Thank
worth
you.
the wait.
Thank you. Thank you.
While a lot of people don't know this, I happened to do some research and I realized that all 4 of your books have a lot of hidden messages and codes, including the cover, including messages in between. How many of y'all have actually realized that? Okay, not.
Wow, good number. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Hey, applause for him.
So while there's a lot of Brahmi, it's the Brahmi script,
Yes.
right? While that's there, also I happen to realize if you stack the 4 books together,
Yes.
there is a
There is a
code
clue.
and there's a map that
Do
comes
you have
about.
the 4 books?
Yes, we do. Can I
Yes.
have all the 4
Can you
books,
get the
please?
4 books? Ram, Sign of Vishwaku, Sita, Warrior of Mithila, Ravan, and War of Lanka. Just get all 4 books. Ram Sign of Vishwaku was published in 2015, right? And Charo, just get all 4 books. 1 copy of all 4 books. No, you don't need to open it. Just get it. They were all published, in roughly 2-year gaps. I know War of Lanka was 3 years.
That's okay.
My apologies. If you actually put them in a stack,
Shall I help you with it?
you put them in a stack like this, it actually starts forming a map, which gives you an idea of what this series is actually about. This is the series of the creation of Meluha, actually. Yeah. So, form the map.
But that was not easy to find. Took me some research, but it's a beautiful thing,
Thank you.
I think these little things actually make the book so special because despite reading it over and over again, you realize that there's something new to find each time you open the book.
There is. Look, at least I like to think that way, and I think my readers are on average more intelligent. So they like to. At least I believe. I think they like to find layers, not just something which just works at a surface story level. That should also be good, of course. But if you have layers, do you like to go back to it again and again, and then discover new things? And for me, the core of my books are various philosophies that I want to convey, and that you can't say A for apple in conveying a philosophy. It has to be conveyed in an interesting, deeper manner.
But Amish, I would like to ask you this. through all the 4 books, you've actually taken the concept of God, whom we've been worshipping, these gods that we've been hearing about right from our childhood, grandparents, we've heard our parents talk about this, we've seen multiple TV shows, we've read articles, we've read books. You've taken these godly characters and actually humanized them, giving them stories, giving them flaws, giving them perfection. At the same time, there's no black and white, there's a lot of gray. So how did this concept actually come about? Because yes, a lot of people do write on mythology, it's the most common thing, but to form it into a contemporary art where, decades and decades later, this could be used to study, this could be used as a text later. So how did that?
My books aren't that good. They're not going to be texts. I thank you for all the love, but my books aren't that good. But look, I think the best way to answer is everyone knows what this means when you put your hands together. What's the word?
Namaste.
Namaste, right? What's the translation? What's the exact translation of it? Yeah, Namaste, whoever said that, applause for him. And what you said is also right. Often people erroneously translate it as just hello. It's not hello. That's okay. That's at a surface level. If you actually go deeper, every word in our traditions had a concept, had a deeper meaning. Like the Sanskrit word, and I believe the ancient word in all Indian languages for a classic book is Kal Jai. It's a very deep word. Kal is time, Jai is victory, right? So that which defeats time is a classic book. It's a very deep word if you think about it. So even Namaste actually means I bow to the divine within you. Okay. What does this actually translate as? That in our traditional Indian way, we see the divine in everything, in each other, in plants, in the trees, in the mountains, in animals. That's what makes us natural environmentalists as well, because we don't see nature as a resource to be exploited, as many Westerners do. We, in our traditional way, we see it as a goddess to be worshipped, right? So we see the divine in everything. Now there are other theories of divine as well. There is the avatar concept of God, the akar concept of God, and at the highest level there's the nirgun nirakar, formless, concept of God. But I find this theory of seeing the divine in everything as very inspiring. And if we see it that way, then the gods who we worship can actually be seen as role models. We see them and then learn from them, right? And of course, if they're role models, there'll be some strengths, there'll be some areas of improvements, and we learn from them and apply those lessons in our own life. So that's how I try. I don't say that my concept is the right concept or the only truth. It's just my concept, which I find inspiring. Hopefully, a few others find it inspiring too.
Why they're here today, and that's why this book has happened to be the most loved book of this entire time.
Thank you.
And as I said, haven't you all been waiting for this book? How excited are we? Can we show him some love? Amish, also talking about the book. So a lot of people don't know that the Ramayana we read today is actually from the 16th century. It's actually Ramcharitmanas that we're talking about.
So, yeah, you're right, actually, because the version of the Ramayana that most modern, at least urban Indians, think is the Ramayana is based on a 1980s television serial, largely. Yeah. No, I'm not talking about it. I actually respect what Ramanand Sagarji did. He did a very good job, right? But it's largely based on a 1980s television serial. That 1980s television serial was largely based on the Ramcharitmanas, Goswami Tulsidas ji's Ramcharitmanas, which was composed in the 16th century. There are many changes that Tulsidas ji made from the original Valmiki Ramayan, right? So everyone believes Lakshman Rekha is there in the Ramayan. Anyone says it's not there? 2, 4, 5, yeah, 7. Yeah, applause for the 7 or 8 who said, because in the original Valmiki Ramayana, actually it's not there, right? And even the Ramcharitmanas, it doesn't come exactly the way you saw it in the television serial. Yeah. So yeah, you're right, actually. And I think there's this lovely line in North India, Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta, that the forms of God are many, and therefore his stories are also many. Yeah. But yeah, that is the way it is. But many of us aren't aware of the original Valmiki Ramayan. And in fact, Valmiki ji is credited with 3 Ramayans. The Valmiki Ramayan, the Adbhut Ramayan, and the Ananda Ramayan. So, in the Adbhut Ramayan, by the way, the women would be happy to know Sita Ma is a warrior, by the way. Credited to Valmiki ji. Huh? Yeah. And in that version, there are 2 Ravans, and the elder Ravan is killed by who? Correct, goddess Sita.
That's so interesting. And I think it's surprising because while we study so much, while we read so much, a lot of us don't really know our own mythology too well. We don't know our own history. I know this is out of context, but if I ask people any question on Indian history or mythology, I'll see a very few show of hands and not particularly too many as to how, if I had to quiz them on pop. So,
But Natasha, if I may say, I don't think it's a fault of the younger generation or the educated people. The fault is of our education system. We teach nothing of our history and our traditions. I honestly believe the demand was always there. It's just that the supply wasn't there. I think this is one of the reasons why my books sell, because it's not there in the education system. So then, maybe if the education system decolonized, I'll have to become a banker again. My books don't sell. But it's not just in history or in our traditional scriptures. In every area, our education system is completely disconnected from our own Indian realities, right? So I love asking this question: how many seasons are there? What have you been taught in school? 4 seasons? Yeah. No, I didn't ask what there actually is. What are you taught in school? 4, right?
Yeah.
Summer, autumn, winter, spring, right? And I remember I'd asked in the 2nd standard, ma'am, monsoon kahan gaya? Correct? India actually has 6 seasons.
Yeah.
Something as basic as Europe has 4 seasons. Okay. Not just this, in everything. How many have heard of Pythagoras Theorem? Yeah. Everyone? Very simple reason, you were taught in school. How many have heard of Bodhayana? Very few. Bodhayana. By the way, I'm a graduate of mathematics. I did BSc in mathematics. European mathematicians have accepted Bodhayana ji discovered Pythagoras theorem 200 years before Pythagoras did. Oh, wow. We are not taught it. In the Shilpa Sutras, it's recorded. Everyone has heard of the Fibonacci series?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, what did we call it, the Fibonacci series? What did Fibonacci himself call it? Anyone knows? India series. Okay, wow. Fibonacci wasn't a plagiarist. He acknowledged the source. Everyone has heard of algebra?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the root of the word algebra? Anyone knows? No. I'm saying the word algebra, where does it come from? Someone said Arab mathematician, right? Yeah, whoever said Arab mathematician, you're right. Applause for him. There's a guy called Al-Khwarizm, okay, who wrote the principles of algebra in an Arabic text. Brilliant guy. His name was corrupted by the time it came to Europe to become algebra. Now, Al-Khwarizm was like Fibonacci. He didn't plagiarize. He was honest and truthful. He acknowledged his source. The name of his book is Kitab al-Hisab al-Hindi, the book of Indian mathematics. We are not taught this. Metallurgy, navigation, every area our ancestors had achievement, but we are not taught this in our education system. So how can you blame people for not knowing? The fault is our education system. It's so colonial. In literature, we'll learn Shakespeare, Tennyson, nothing against Shakespeare, Tennyson. Why are we not taught Thiruvalluvar? Why are we not taught Kalidasa, Bhasa, Mirza Ghalib? Read our own stuff first. Learn. We are speaking in English. I'm not anti-West. There are good things in the West. It's been the most successful culture of the last 400 years. There's a lovely line in Sanskrit, Ano Badraha Kritvo Yantu Vishwataha, that let noble thoughts come to me from all directions.
Right.
Our ancestors were very happy to learn knowledge from anywhere. Goddess Saraswati can bless anyone. She doesn't have to bless only an Indian. And if she's blessed someone, then learn from him or her. Correct. But first we must learn our own stuff.
Which is why hopefully we'll see these books on the shelves of schools sometime in the future. Because this is not only to tell you, but I've personally read all the books, and this is a start to a revolution where we are trying to change the way Indians actually perceive our own history, perceive our own epics. So this is a small start through your contribution. This is in fact, now we know, now we are going to pick up more books. Now a lot of people will start researching the Shiva trilogy, Ramchandra series, and all the books that you're going to write in future. These are a big contribution to how India's future is going to shape up later.
Thank you. Thank you. Man, most of you guys are youngsters. You're the ones who will run India, tomorrow. Get reconnected to our land. Again, nothing wrong in learning from the West. It's the most successful culture of the last 400 years. But get reconnected to our lands, because you guys will be the elite that will make decisions. And if you're not connected to, our land, our culture, the decisions we make will be mistaken. Like you see, sorry if I may digress a bit. There's this, I'm very passionate about India to end up talking about these things. You notice so many glass wall buildings, right? In big Indian cities. I've spoken about this. It makes no sense in India. Glass wall buildings make sense in Western Europe. There's a shortage of the sun. And there they spend money on heating the building, not cooling the building. But we have an excess of the sun out here. When we build a glass wall building, we essentially build a giant microwave oven. It makes no sense in India, right? But we continue to build it because we are so mentally colonized. The way we treat our rains. Okay, pop quiz. What is the Sanskrit word for year? Varsh. Varsh. What's the Sanskrit word for nation? Bharat. Bharat Varsh. Okay. What's the root of these words? Varsha, rain. Our ancestors were very clear that our entire way of life has to be built around the rain. Only the Indian subcontinent and Southeast Asia has this weather system. No other part of the world has it, right? So they used to keep reinforcing it. Everything would be built around the rain. Name of the year would be rain, built on rain. The name of the nation would be built around the rain. Why? Imagine, how many of you are earning salaries out here? Yeah, okay, a good number. Now imagine if you got your salaries in this method, okay? 12 months in the year. For 10 months, you got precisely 0. Okay, and in 2 months you get your entire salary.
No.
How should you live your life? Should you just blow it all up in those 2 months and starve the next 10 months, or should you save those 2 months and spread it out? To make it even more complicated, say the salary doesn't come to you, it comes to entire housing society, and all of you have to share it. Everyone's collective salary comes out there. To make it even more complicated, in those 2 months, some years you get 150% of your salary, some years you get 50%. What should you do? Save, collaborate in your local communities. Our ancestors did this. All temples, mosques, you notice all of them had ponds next to it.
Yeah.
Why? Because if you get that once in 5-year bonus, you save it so that you can use it in the dry period. The local community has to work with each other always, because remember, salary is not coming to you individually, going to your entire housing society. Right? Now, what do we do today? How do we build our cities? We'll suddenly get surprised. Arey, cloudburst ho gaya. Arey boss, if you're British, you should be surprised cloudburst ho gaya. This is India. Cloudburst has been happening every year for thousands and thousands of years. What are we surprised about? Right? You'll notice a city will flood. Bangalore maybe hua, Chennai mein hua, Hyderabad, Delhi, Mumbai, it keeps happening. Next year, water shortage. It makes no sense. We waste all that water. Why? Because mentally we all want to live in Europe. Our cities have to be copies of European cities. They don't get the rains the way we do. They don't get their water supply the way we do. Right? We get everything in 2 months. We have to be reconnected to our actual realities. Then we'll live better. Only Southeast Asia and the Indian subcontinent has this climate system. So that's the point I'm trying to make. There are real world impacts of us mentally wanting to live in Europe. Right? We actually hurt our country by doing this.
Right. Absolutely. I think all of us agree to this. Speaking about the book, two of my favorite characters. Yes, there's Ram, there's Sita, there's Ravan. There are so many important characters. But two of the most underrated characters and yet the most beautiful characters in the book this time are Kumkaran and his son Indrajit. They are so strong. They are underrated, but at the same time, so strong, so powerful.
Just one sec. Paresh bhai, coffee mil sakta hai kya? Thoda chini ke sath. Sorry, I've been doing a lot of events. My throat is packing up a bit. Sorry.
Can I get you something else as well?
Just some coffee. Coffee will be nice. And maybe some dry fruits or something to eat.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So When we talk about this, what about the two characters? How did you actually conceptualize this and bring about such beautiful, underrated characters that are not talked about too much in history?
Actually, if you go in the original Ramayans, Kumbhakarna and Indrajit are actually spoken of quite a lot. And in that sense, they're really, the word is, there's a sense of melancholy when you read of them, right? How many of you have read the Shiva trilogy? Yeah. So Parvateshwar, was he one of your favorite characters? He was one of my favorite characters. He was based largely on my brother-in-law, actually, who was a police officer, Himanshu Roy. A man I idolized. I looked up to like a father. And thank you. What do you do when life puts you in a very difficult situation? Thank you. What is called a dharm sankat in our ways, right? That uh, your heart wants to take you in one direction, but dharma says that you need to go in another direction. And these are very, very difficult because there's no one right way, right? Vibhishan, for example, right? At least the way I portray, because I always thought of him that at least he should have, if you're going against your own family, there should be at least some kashmakash in you. There should be something that's tearing you apart, right? Because that shows at least that you have that sense of loyalty and heart. But he just went so easily against, no matter what his elder brother was, right? Of course, his elder brother was a monster. I'm not denying that. But even then, right? Whereas Kumbhakarna and Indrajit were aware, right? And they tried their best to reform and stop Ravan. But then ultimately, if we are on this side, well, we have to fight and we have to die with it, right? It makes them very intriguing characters, in some ways, nobility of being a good person but on the wrong side, so that made them very intriguing for me, and maybe that's why they came out that way in the book.
They come out beautiful in the book, and I'm sure a lot of them agree with me. And Amish, I just want to take this chance to actually thank you, because guys, not a lot of you know, I'm sure you've been following him on Instagram. He's been on the road since the 4th of October doing this tour. This is going to go on till November. It's going to get extended a bit. He's been going to so many cities, doing multiple book launches in multiple stores, at least 6 or 7 per day. And
9-10 actually, and 16-17 interviews. But माँ ठीक कहती थी पैसा कमाना आसान नहीं होता है, बहुत काम करना पड़ता है.
hats off to you guys. Come on. Hats off to you.
Thank you.
The energy, this dedication, plus this kind of zeal is really hard to forget. Yes, a lot of people promote their books, but your effort into this book is seen today.
A lot of it is, and I'll be honest, I could joke about the money. It's also emotions. I don't know if Sainath is here somewhere. So he showed me a video today of a store staff opening the packet of War of Lanka, and that guy had made a recording and shared it with Sainath, and Sainath showed it to me. Store staff, essentially the frontline sales staff, and he was opening the carton, picked up the book, and he was saying Jai Shri Ram, Ram Ram, while saying it. It brought tears to my eyes, right? And I actually got emotional when he showed this video to me. There are enough easy ways. I mean, there are ways to make money. You can be. I was a banker. You're not a thief if you're a banker. I mean, you get a decent job, but to get the privilege and pleasure of this, it's a privileged life, and that gives me the energy to work.
It's all your efforts. All of this
it's
is
all
your
blessings.
efforts. If you had a chance to relocate the ultimate battlefield of Lanka, where would you like to have it in the Indian territory today? If you had the chance to, kind of in your imagination.
In the Indian territory today, I hope we don't have battles like this. The downside though is, look, I'm in the field of geopolitics as well. I'm a diplomat. We have experienced what is called a long peace in the last 75 years. Per capita basis, violence was actually among the lowest. I genuinely feel that era is coming to an end. And there will be a difficult 10, 15 years. 2020s will be a difficult period. Sadly, many of your generations will go through it. But what happens in a period like this, is much of the world order changes. I genuinely believe if we are united, India will actually emerge stronger from this. But there will be a difficult 10, 15-year period for the world. If you think about all that has happened in the last 2, 3 years, once in 100-year pandemic, Western nations are having 15, 20% inflation. This is unheard of, right? And there'll be more things like this because there's a lot of uthal-puthal happening in the world. What that means is that we as people, we as a nation have to be far more resilient. In times of severe change, it's and we learn in evolution, it's a survival of the fittest, right? That's actually wrong. It's actually survival of the most adaptable, right? People who are resilient, who can adapt to changing situations. I think that's something all of us should be mentally aware of. The next 10 years will be difficult. So we may not want that war, but wars will come to us. Like the pandemic hit us, hit India as well. We didn't start it. We had nothing to do with it, but it hit us. It started, India hasn't been the source of any pandemic for the last 500 years, right? More often than not, actually, the source has actually either been Europe or China. It's worth analyzing why. But we suffered from it. Like the Spanish flu also, what happened 100 years back, we suffered from it. So this is going to be a difficult 10-year period. All of you, realize that resilience is among the most important qualities to have. That it's not about how many times you get hit or fall down. It's about getting back up every single time, dusting yourself off and starting to walk once again. That's what will define the winners, for the next generation. And if I may add one thing, sorry to be sounding like I'm pontificating, but in a time like this, our nation must be united. All these silly divisions we have of religion, caste, regions, languages, there's no good time. There's no good time at any period, for these divisions. But particularly at this time, it is avoidable. You'll notice countries that are internally divided suffer a lot more in periods like this. We need to be united. Every single fellow Indian of ours is our brother and sister. We have to work together. It will be a difficult 10 years.
Here we are united for your book launch.
Thank you.
And we're united. I can say all of us together, thank you so much for being here. Thank you on the behalf of Sapna. You fulfilled a lot of dreams here today by being here. A lot of people have been waiting to see you from quite some time.
Some of them may have scolded me also.
Not at
On
all.
Instagram or Twitter.
There's only love for you in this room today, and I can
No,
say it on
no,
all.
to be fair, even tough love is love. It's okay.
A lot of us are going back richer today after hearing you speak. Thank you so much for this wonderful book. And on behalf of the entire management at Sapna, wishing you all the best for this.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We have a small gift for you. While you talk about tough love, I wanted to show you, since you're on the other side, it's not entirely true that what you hear and see is the reality. Coming from the ground level, we at Sapna ran a small campaign where for the last 1 month, we asked people to fill in their messages so they could write to you directly. I have the best ones picked out, and this is a small token from all of us at Sapna for you.
Thank you.
So, in fact, this is your real love. This is what people feel for you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. My God, these are really sweet things. Eh? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a quick Q&A with Amish. And Amish, here's how this is going to work. Everyone who's walked in here have been handed over token numbers. So you can just pick a number between 1 to 300. And whosoever is in the room will go ahead and ask you a question if they have one.
These are genuinely random numbers. There's no Fibonacci series or anything. It is. I'm just going by the top of my head. 91.
91. Do we have 91 in the room? Yes, yes,
Okay.
please.
Hi, buddy.
It's your opportunity to ask Amish a question.
I'm not surprised that I picked a backbencher. I was a backbencher also in school and college.
Hello, Amish. I really love your setting of the world and just love your books. I think what inspired you to write about Shiva in the first place, and how did you come to the fact that Sita can actually be a warrior and not how she's traditionally depicted in the Ramayana?
Okay, very good questions both. I didn't catch your name, buddy.
Yeah, my name is Shomadip Mukherjee.
Shomitra. Okay. Shomitra. Oh, nice. Okay.
Shomadeep.
Somadeep.
Yes.
Okay, Somadeep. Okay. Somadeep, first, Lord Shiva. Look, I mean, the books began, the Shiva trilogy began as an analysis, as sorry, as a pure philosophy thesis, actually, an answer to this question: what is evil? And then it got converted into a story. The idea being to convey those philosophies through a story. So if you want to convey a philosophy on evil, then I guess the best hero naturally is the destroyer of evil himself, Lord Shiva. It's also, of course, easier because I come from a Shaivite family. I'm a very devout Shiv Bhakt. But like in all, Indian families, in our family, we have multiple, beliefs. I'm a Shaivite. My elder sister is a Shaivite. My father, I lost him last year, but he was a Nirgun Nirakar, formless God worshipper. My mother is a Mata worshipper. My sister-in-law is a Mother worshipper. My elder brother is a Lord Ram worshipper. My twin brother is Lord Krishna. My sister-in-law, twin brother's wife, is Christian. So we have all religions and many belief systems, but we are basically a Shaivite family. So I guess that also kind of attracted me to Lord Shiva. He's also a very cool god, to be honest. With all respect to all other gods and goddesses, he's a very cool god. Seeing goddess Sita as a warrior, and actually, I mentioned that earlier. It came from the Adbhut Ramayan, actually. I'd love to take credit for it, but actually I can't, because it actually came from Valmiki ji. And there's a lovely line in the Adbhut Rama, and I've quoted that often. I love quoting it. Everyone knows the Mahabharat line, Yada Yada Dharmasya Glanir Bharata Abhyuda. So Lord Krishna essentially saying when dharma rises or when adharma rises or dharma is in decline, he will come. There is an interpretation of this line in the Adbhut Ramayan. Yada yada dharmasya glanir bhavati suvrata abhyutthanam adharmasya tada prakruti sambhava. That remember, O keeper of righteous vows, whenever adharma rises or dharma declines, then the sacred feminine will incarnate. She will defend dharma, she will protect us. We are among the last surviving goddess worshipping cultures. Most other goddess worshipping cultures were wiped out, most of them violently, in the last 2000 years. We're still around. We still believe in the sacred feminine and in strong, at least our ancient culture did. Modern India has to reform quite a lot. But our ancient culture, we had women writing scriptures, we had women being doctors, we had women founding universities. The Vallabhi University, by the way, was founded by a woman. We had women leading their own armies into battle. We had women ruling in their own name in ancient India. Yeah? That was the kind of society we had. We've devolved a lot in the last many centuries. We need to revive that once again. And I think perhaps, hopefully, this book is like a small reminder of what our culture was actually like.
Thank you so very much for your question, Shomadeep. Amish, let's have another number.
236. Completely random, I promise. I have no idea why I picked that number. 236.
236. Are you in the room? Well,
236 in the house. No, 236 is missing. I feel like I'm running a lotto thing out here.
Which you will be in a bit as well. For a few lucky
Okay.
winners, will get
Okay.
some really nice merchandise.
Oh, nice.
But
Okay.
you can go ahead with.
Do I get a hamper also? Okay. 135.
135. Yes.
Okay. Hi. Again, backbencher. I swear I'm not planning this.
Hi, Amish.
Hi.
I don't have a question for you. I just
Oh.
wanted to say I love reading all your books, and I hope we will see a few more books in the coming years.
Thank you. Thank you. What's your name?
My name is Rashmi.
Rashmi, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all your support and love. Thank you. God bless you. All right, why not? Go for it.
You're 48 and I'm 84 now.
Okay.
Okay. So I teach school children. My name is Bhagya. And what
I met
do
you in the lift, I think.
Yeah, we meet
Ah,
again.
okay, okay. She was holding a book. I said, nice book. I think I may have written it.
Yes, he did put an effort to make me smile. So, Mr. Amish, what do you think would be the impact in case your books hit the shelves in the future and become classics for school and collegiate children? I'm sorry you stole mine earlier.
Firstly, I don't know if that's going to happen. So why predict? Why spend time thinking about what may or may not happen? As I was saying earlier, time should be the final decision maker. I should do what I think is right. At least what I think. I'll tell you what I think. Forget about classics or time deciding. That's a different matter. Everyone's heard of Steve Jobs, at least, right?
Yeah.
You're in Bangalore, obviously. Steve Jobs had said this thing that among the most privileged jobs in the universe, in the world, was not Steve Jobs, actually. Among the most privileged jobs was bad joke, sorry. Clearly, it didn't work. Among the most privileged jobs was that of being a storyteller, right? Because if you're a storyteller, you get the most precious thing from others, okay, which is not money. Money is not the most precious thing you can give. The most precious thing that you can give is your attention and your time, right? It's a real privilege, and only for whatever reason storytellers get it, right? And so he said great leaders also have to be storytellers, right? And I think for whatever reason, because before Immortals of Meluha, I had written no fiction in my life. I don't know how I've got this blessing. Even now, I still can't explain how it comes. I just open the laptop and it comes, right? So then I have something in the back of my mind. I've been given this privilege. What kind of character should I be? How do I take this privilege responsibly? If I'm being given the privilege of your attention and time, what kind of things should I say? What kind of person should I be? I'm living in the West right now. Among the things that strikes me, so many of the people in the elite in the West are in many ways against their own society. It's very bizarre. It's almost like they hate their own society. They keep searching for cracks and divisions in their society and keep poking it, trying to enlarge it. I don't see how that's good for their society. And I at least feel that those of us who've been given this privilege in India, storytellers are not just writers and and filmmakers. It is anyone who's in a leadership position, right? In a company, anywhere. If you can, especially in this critical, what I genuinely believe is going to be a critical 10-15 years, work more towards unity, work more towards carrying everyone along. That at least we can be conscious of that if we've been given this privilege. That's what I try and do. Okay.
Thank you so very much
Okay.
for the question.
One last question, again, completely random. 61. Oh, okay. No? Okay, sorry.
I remember she came running because she was so scared that she wanted a good number. You got lucky.
Okay, 61. Okay. Okay, we'll do one more question. Okay, chalo.
So actually, I have come across like the Ramayana series like in my childhood. Like my mother used to like tell me bedtime stories at night, like in the Ramayana. But I like never liked the character of Sita. Like at that, I was always thinking that why did Sita has to like sacrifice so much? Why did she have to suffer so much? So and then like in my college life, I came across him. So he gave me the first book.
Who are you, my man? Stand up, stand up. Hi.
Actually, he's a very great fan of your like TV series, Legends of the Ramayana,
Oh, okay.
with Amish. So he actually like gave also a question in that registration form that when will the season 2 come?
Yeah, we are working on that. Shivani here is runs my life in the UK. We are working on that second season and various other documentary ideas as well. In fact, I have my own company called Immortal Studios based in Mumbai. We'll work on that because actually I want to explore many of these stories, and documentaries are a great way to tell all of us, many of the youth things that they haven't been taught in our education system. Like how many of us actually knew? I mean, we were told in the Valmiki Ramayan there's an underground river in Chitrakoot. How many of us know that underground river actually exists, boss? It's there, but we weren't taught it, and we went and shot out there in that cavern. We need to know all these things, and that. And I have to say one thing as an aside, building on what I answered out there. The crew. It was a Discovery TV documentary, so it was like a mini movie series, right? So some 25, 30 people, drone cameras, everything. We had people from all religions in there: Hindus, Christians, Muslims, Sikhs. By the second, third day, started dawning on many of us. Yeah, we're walking on the path that Lord Ram walked on, right? Started impacting us, and at the end of every day shoot, almost spontaneously, we started saying Jai Shri Ram, all of us, okay, together. And these are like, deep ways connections to our past. They kind of ground us. We need to get these stories out.
So actually, like he gave me the first book. Like it was his first gift from him, and the first gift was Sita, for the warrior of Mithila.
Okay.
And I liked that book very much, and I liked the book so much that I started reading the whole Ramayana series, and I loved Ramayana in a different way than the way I had loved it in childhood. Like I love the books.
Thank you so much, and thank you to your I assume your friend or
Boyfriend.
boyfriend. Okay, I can say boyfriend. Okay. I was wondering how far should I go? Friend, boyfriend, husband, or okay, boyfriend. Okay, good. God bless both you guys, man, and may you find all happiness and love.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll do one more question. Chalo, front benchers. Number 7. Anyone number 7? Okay, chalo. It's not working. Just turn it on, the mic.
Hello?
Yeah,
It works. So, Ramayana, obviously, you haven't killed off any characters which Valmiki hasn't. But if you had a personal opinion and had to make a character live,
Make a character
live, whom you have killed, or Valmiki has killed.
No, he's asking that if I look, who's going to die. You know Ravan's going to die. You know Kumbhakarna's going to die. You know Indrajit's going to die. If the story could change, then perhaps if Indrajit could live, because
Thanks a lot.
He was in many ways, and the pain that his mother feels, Mandodari, right? Because again, Mandodari is a bit like Kumbhakarna in a way, because Kumbhakarna was in denial of what his brother was, which makes him a little sad. Mandodari was not in denial. She knew what kind of man her husband was. But she still had the moral strength to stay because she loved her son so much. And but she also had the moral strength to say that I will not take any money from my husband because the fruits of a poisonous tree are also poisonous. So she used to live in a small hut. She refused to take it. The moral clarity that she had. And someone like her, that scene was actually among the most difficult scenes that I wrote. That
and I really want to
loses her magnificent son. The pain, like all she's stuck with is life.
The climax you gave to her is commendable.
Yeah. But it's if he could live, and for a mother's love, because all she was left with was life, and life is vicious. So, yeah.
Thank you so very much. That's the end of the Q&A. Right now, Amish.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a beautiful comment.
But ma'am, can I say one thing? Okay, sorry, just to add one thing. There's there's this play called Malavikagni Mitram. It was written by Kalidas, perhaps 1500 to 2000 years ago. You should read the play, right? Not one of Kalidas's best plays, but a nice play. In that, there's a scene of a father complaining about his son. Okay, that he is not interested in our traditions, and look at my silly son. Okay, point I'm trying to make, ma'am, is 2000 years ago parents were complaining that our children are not connected to our culture. Even today parents are complaining, but our culture is still alive. The point I'm trying to make, ma'am, is our youth are connected to our culture. The demand is there. The problem is the supply wasn't there. The demand is 100% there. There's a reason why we are still alive. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Amish, you'll now be literally picking out winners. Thank you. Thank you so very much for that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 winners that we are choosing who get to win merchandise, the Ramchandra series, the tote bag, the t-shirt, and a gift voucher from Sapna Book House. So, go ahead. Let's announce a number and 3 of them who win these.
I will make sure that there's fairness between the front rows, mid rows, and back rows. So the winners are completely random. Okay, 16, 134, and 241. 16, 134, 241.
Number 16.
Number 16, yes.
16. There's no 16 here.
There is, he's there. He's there.
16. Yeah. Okay. Then what is it? 134.
Yes.
16, 134, and 241.
Where's 241? 241.
241.
Okay. Maybe you can take a
There
single
is no
digit.
241.
Okay.
Oh, 241.
240.
Okay. Sorry. 9.
Whoa.
9. Please, I request all the winners to quickly make their way to the front for collecting your merchandise from Amish. It involves a t-shirt, gift voucher from Sapna Book House, along with this beautiful tote bag, of course, that Amish will be handing out. Amish, if
Guys, I was just told about because I have actually how many 8 events today. So I've already done 2. So I've signed copies and left them downstairs. So I'm sure they'll be happy to give that to you. And and I will sign for the next 10-15 minutes because I have to rush somewhere else. So if you can just set up a system and we'll sign
Will do.
quickly. I'll just do signing. Yeah, so that we have
Will do.
Before you get up,
Okay.
please be seated where you are. Sriram will be calling out numbers.
You can,
We'll get the book signed accordingly. Sriram, over to you.
we have our 3 winners. Congratulations to our winners. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, now you have been handed out token numbers. We can only accommodate the first 20 tokens. The first 20. If you could please.
Guys, I request you to stay back. If time permits, we'll
I will
accommodate
try my
more.
best to
Yes.
sign. Having said that, I have signed a lot of copies for with Sapna already. Yeah. Before coming out here, I quickly signed.
If we can have.
Yeah.
Just keep the numbers.
Yeah, yeah.
running,
Yeah.
And I
Gu-
keep signing quickly. We
Guys,
don't-
wait here.
Yeah. So we won't talk. We'll just keep signing quickly. Come.
If we can have the first 1 to 10, just make your way to the right, please. The rest of you kindly remain seated. The first 1 to 10, if you can make your way to the right for the book signing, please. And I will call out 10 to 20 after the first to 10 is done. Have the first page removed. You can open the first page. Ladies and gentlemen, Amish will be putting on his Hancock the signature. Request you to not have any requests of others' names, please. Thank you. First to 10, please. First to 10 tokens. The rest of you kindly remain seated. Ladies and gentlemen, make a single file, please. A single file line so that we can do this in a much more organized manner. Thank you so very much. Make sure you mind the space. Ladies and gentlemen, also just a quick announcement. The billing counter is on the ground floor. The billing counter is on the ground floor, and that's where you'll find a lot of signed copies as well. I'd once again like to reiterate, the billing counter is on the ground floor. That's where we have placed a few signed copies of the book. Numbers 10 to 20. Yeah.
Guys, I hope you're standing.
Request you all to please have your tokens.
I don't think so. We try to accommodate as many as we can today.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are on the gram, on Instagram, you can of course look us up on Sapna _book _house. We'd be more than happy to share all the moments that you've captured today. Make sure you give us a tag. Thank you so very much. Kindly mind your space and we'll accommodate as many as possible. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have our professional photographer who's capturing these moments. Thank you. Thank you so very much, sir. We do have a professional photographer who will be taking the photographs. We will share a link with you on the Instagram page. While you're at it, you can of course follow Sapna Book House on Instagram and tag us for all the moments that have been captured today. Thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's quite a packed day, and Amish is sending as many as possible. So request